What's up, guys? It's Hana and Mel. Welcome to a new episode of the Splash Sisters. We're gonna be talking about just a playoff update and like a bunch of crazy shit that's happened this past week. Gonna start off with the craziest thing: the Knicks vs Sixers are going to Game 6 because the Knicks choked in Game 5, and now I processed the loss and I can talk about it. The Knicks really shot themselves in the foot, especially in the last 30 seconds where the Knicks were up 6 with 28 seconds left. Tyrese Maxey hits an and 1-3 from the logo, and they pushed it to overtime, which the Knicks it shouldn't have even went to overtime, but the Knicks missed free throws and just had so many defensive lapses. Overtime, the Sixers ended up winning, and now I'm really scared. I'm really scared that the Knicks are going to blow a 3-1 lead. I think the Knicks blowing a 3-1 lead would be my 13th reason. I don't think I'd have joy in life anymore if that happened. I really don't understand how some teams dealt with their teams blowing a 3-1 lead. Like, I don't it's rare for a reason. It should not happen. If you're up 3-1, there should be no reason for you to blow that lead.
Honestly, if you put yourself into that deep, like, there's just no coming back. I really don't think the Sixers can beat the Knicks for 2 more games. It's just like they're not winning 2 more games straight.
I don't know,
like I don't think you have to panic. Hana was so mad last night. Like, it was annoying. I was like, can you get over it? Like,
I don't think I'm gonna get over it. Like, I'm not gonna get over it until we actually win the series, because now I'm really scared because we're going to Philly Game 6 and they have all the momentum. If they win Game 6, anything can happen in Game 7.
Embiid is not 100% at all. You should be happy that Embiid isn't 100% right now, because if he was, this wouldn't even be the case. Like, you guys would probably lose in like 5 or 6.
That's not true. Number one, Embiid literally dropped 50 in game,
and he wasn't even 100%. Like, what does that tell you?
For if you actually watch a series because you're a casual, you'll see.
I literally watch every game.
I'm sure you would literally see that besides Embiid and Maxey, that team is terrible. The Knicks are a better team overall. They are. The Knicks won 50 games with every single key player missing hella games. And number two, Embiid doesn't always go crazy in the playoffs regardless. What we've been able to do to contain him has been amazing. The number one thing, though, has been that we double off of a Maxey too much and try, because we focus on Embiid too much, which is the reason why Maxey has been able to go crazy. Is because of, like, we're giving him so many great looks because we're so focused on Embiid. And that's the main reason we lost the game yesterday, but I still think the Knicks will win. If we're being honest here, the only team that could honestly blow a 3-1 lead is the Pacers. The Pacers lost to the Bucks without Giannis and Dame, and there's a strong possibility that Giannis and Dame are coming back for Game 6. And if the Pacers end up blowing a 3-1 lead, imagine if the Pacers and Knicks blow a 3-1 lead, I don't understand. Like, I think I would honestly kill myself, but Pacers fans should be honestly even more mad because we're playing a better team than they are. Like, Giannis and Dame are not even playing. Like, that's an actual choke.
Still, like, they got lucky in the first place for Giannis being out. They should have never made it out of the first round. They just ended up getting lucky. So I really do hope Giannis and Dame come back.
Honestly,
nobody wants to see the Pacers.
I'm pissed off at the Pacers because if the Knicks do move on to the next round, I want to play the Pacers. The Knicks would absolutely wipe the floor with the Pacers. But the Pacers are selling right now where if we move on, what if we have to play Dame and Giannis? Like, that's incredibly unlucky. And I'm going to be mad at the Pacers for the rest of my life if they can't close the series out and we have to play the Bucks.
I hope they do. The Bucks do win. It's just going to be a better series. Nobody wants to see the Pacers in the second round. I know I don't. So,
the Pacers are fun to watch. They're just inconsistent.
I don't care, man. I want to see Giannis play. Like, it's already sucks.
And the thing is, Giannis and Dame are still both injured. If they come back, they're not 100%. So I still think the Knicks will still beat them. But if Giannis and Dame still come back, I still think they can take the Pacers down because the Pacers are not mentally tough enough yet. And Halliburton has been really underwhelming. Like, we all know, Tyrese Halliburton started the season off crazy. People were putting him in insane conversations. He was putting up unreal stat lines, and he got injured. He hurt his hamstring really bad, and you could honestly tell that he's not 100%. You could just tell that he didn't let it fully heal, and that's been hindering his scoring. He's still doing really good playmaking wise, like setting up his teammates, getting them open and stuff like that, but his scoring does need a lot of work. And I still think that he's going to be very, very good, but he definitely needs time to heal. And a lot of people are saying he's overrated and stuff like that. I don't think he's overrated. He's just not playing as well as he could be because of his injury. And I really hope that he can still will the Pacers to win, because if they blow a 3-1 lead, that would be really, really bad, especially for my Knicks. Another team that's down in the dumps, the Lakers. The Lakers, my hot take is, if the Lakers had a different coach, this series would still be going on, and the Lakers could honestly beat the Nuggets if they had a better coach.
Yeah, the Lakers were leading. I know everyone saw the graphic, but the Lakers were leading most of the series, like in terms of points, and the Nuggets were trailing half the time, more than half the time. It was just at the very end where the Lakers just couldn't get it together. Like, one of the games they blew a 20-point lead. It's just unacceptable. And if you take it into account, they did outplay the Nuggets up until the very last moment. And it's just annoying because it would be a closer series. It should be 2-2 right now, or 3-2.
No, seriously, if you watched the series, the Lakers did outplay the Nuggets. They outplayed the Nuggets a majority of the time. Like Mev mentioned, the Lakers led like 80% of every game, but they cannot close games. And a major part of that is because they have a terrible coach who's scared to call timeouts. And there was this one point where the Nuggets were on a 13-0 run, and he still didn't call a timeout, or that's when he called a timeout. Like, he's literally a moron. He's a moron. He should not be coaching an NBA team. And someone tweeted that they think that Darvin Ham doesn't call timeouts is because he doesn't know what to say in the huddle. And that made me die laughing because that's so accurate. And I swear to God, if the Lakers had Ty Lue, another great coach, they would have won this series. Because every single game they had a double-digit lead in every single game, I believe.
And it was just like,
and they led at halftime. They led at halftime every single game.
And they wasted a great series by LeBron and AD. Like, it just irritates the hell out of me that they could not win. And I mean, at the same time, the Nuggets got so lucky, especially with Jamal Murray playing like shit half the time and then getting a game winner. Jamal Murray is like the Laker assassin at this point. And it wasn't even just Jamal Murray. The Nuggets have the best starting five in the league. I don't care what anyone says. It's not even the Celtics anymore. It's the Nuggets. The most reliable starting five in the league is the Nuggets. And that's obvious. That's honestly obvious. Everyone should know that. And the Lakers put up a huge fight against the Nuggets. I'm scared that no other team will put up a huge fight against the Nuggets, because the star power LeBron and AD have was enough to showcase the Nuggets' weaknesses. But now they're playing a Timberwolves team that has a better overall team than the Lakers. The Lakers, obviously, their duo, they have the best duo in the league, but their supporting cast did not help or support at all whatsoever. But the Timberwolves are kind of stacked. Their starting five is also really good. Mike Conley, Jaden McDaniels, Anthony Edwards, Karl-Anthony Towns, Rudy Gobert. Their bench goes into Naz Reid, Nickeil Alexander-Walker. They're a good team. And they're definitely overall a lot better than the Lakers. I don't think that they'll be shitting the bed in the fourth quarter like the Lakers have the whole series. And the one thing is, I don't think there's a single person on the Nuggets that can guard Anthony Edwards. I think Anthony Edwards is going to be so explosive and cause a lot of problems for them. Not to mention, the Timberwolves' perimeter defense could cause a lot of problems for Jamal Murray, because if we're being honest, Jamal Murray did not shoot well at all against the Lakers. They were doing a solid job on him until the ending, where his dog just took over. That's when he would not miss. But the Lakers overall did a really good job on Jamal Murray. So just think about how much of a better job the Timberwolves are going to do, because the Timberwolves are a better defense. They have a way better perimeter defense than the Lakers did. Not to mention, they have Rudy Gobert, who anchors their paint defense. And people are saying that Karl-Anthony Towns will probably take Jokic one-on-one and let Rudy Gobert roam the basket, because that's honestly a really good decision to do, because Rudy Gobert can watch out for the cutters and all that, and just stop and defer people from coming to the rim. So I really do think that
the Timberwolves have a way better game plan than the Lakers do. The Lakers honestly just their game plan was LeBron AD go attack the rim. That's it. Like play defense as best as you can. Darvin Ham even said some idiotic things like Jokic. There's no stopping Jokic. So what are you gonna do? Like he's just a terrible coach, and that's why he's getting fired this season. But I really think the Timberwolves are gonna they have a strong possibility to win the series. What do you think?
Man, I really think so too. The Timberwolves can definitely guard. They can definitely guard Jokic. Obviously, they can guard Aaron Gordon. They can guard Jamal Murray. They can guard Michael Porter Jr.
I mean, they could attempt to guard Jokic, but everyone else is
Still,
human.
I just think the Timberwolves have the best shot out of anyone else in the West. Like the last people to have a chance to beat the Nuggets in the West, it's the Timberwolves. So we just have to pray.
I agree. The Timberwolves are really the only hope for the Nuggets not being defending champions, and that's what we really gotta pray on to. We gotta pray that the Timberwolves don't shit the bed, that they play like they did against the Suns. Like they, even when the Suns were up in the series at points, they just were not having it. They kept coming back. I don't even know. I really hope that the Timberwolves win. Let's talk about Anthony Edwards. Is Anthony Edwards the next face of the league? A lot of people, honestly, he's just so lovable. Like everyone loves him.
It's just like hard to hate this guy. I mean, he has done some stuff in the past, but I think a lot of people just don't care. Like, it's hard to say. I'm not saying I don't care, but like what he does on the court, it just makes everyone love him. Like he was like humping the air the other day, and everyone was just like, "Wow, this guy's hilarious." And he's just so fun to watch. Like you literally feel like when you're watching Anthony Edwards, you feel like you're watching MJ reincarnated. And it's really early to say that, but I don't know. I just feel like Anthony Edwards has a lot of years of dominance ahead.
I don't know if anyone actually has this nickname, but I think Anthony Edwards, adding on to Ant-Man, I think his nickname should be the Smiling Assassin, because he will kill a team with a smile on his face. Like he won't be like devious, like staring people down. He'll be smiling. And that's why a lot of people respect him, because like he just has so much fun, and he's just so competitive, and like he said he wants to kill everything in front of him, and he does it with a smile on his face. And like I think the Suns were actually scared to play this man, and he showed that he is a future MVP in this league. I really think that he'll win MVP eventually and lead the Timberwolves to a championship.
Yeah, and the Timberwolves, like, finally they decided to do something. This is the first series they've just won, the first playoff series they've won since Kevin Garnett. So I really think like great years are upon them, and we just gotta talk about Rudy Gobert. Like I have to apologize to this man. Like when they
man has to apologize.
I have to apologize to Rudy Gobert. I said like one of the worst takes I ever said, and that's really hard because I've had a lot of bad takes, but that one was probably the worst. I was like shitting on them for trading for Rudy Gobert, but that was like the best thing they could have done, because if they didn't, that team would have been terrible. Here, this is what
I tweeted this, but I said everyone was clowning the Timberwolves for trading for Rudy Gobert because of how much they gave up for him, but it ended up saving their franchise, because we all know Anthony Edwards drafting him also saved their franchise, but it really didn't jumpstart their success until they traded for Rudy Gobert, because of how much impact he has on the court. Yeah, we'll plug Matt's tweet right here.
Yeah, I said the Timberwolves could have had their picks in this squad: D'Lo, Patrick Beverley, Anthony Edwards, Jared Vanderbilt, Kat, Malik Beasley, Jalen Noel, Josh Okogie, Jaden McDaniels, Walker Kessler, Jordan McLaughlin, Wendell Moore Jr., Taurean Prince. And I think the worst thing about this whole tweet is that I had Naz Reid as the 12th man. So yeah.
That's a strong ninth playing team for sure.
Yeah, it's just, I feel like everyone was just like thought that the whole the whole trade market was like screwed because of how many picks the Timberwolves gave up for Rudy Gobert. Now it just makes a lot more sense. You know?
Honestly,
in the moment it looked crazy.
Yeah, but people thinking the Timberwolves lost trading for Rudy Gobert, who's one of the most impactful defenders we've ever seen in the NBA, is crazy, because they even got to keep Anthony Edwards and Karl Anthony Towns. So how could having those two players plus Rudy Gobert, they didn't have Mike Conley yet, but like having those players, there's no way a team was going to be bad. No way. And the Timberwolves really, really, really hit the lottery trading for Mike Conley because Mike Conley is such a solid point guard, and I really feel like Mike Conley is a kind of player that will be great for like he could play for like 5 more years because the way he plays basketball is so smart, efficient. He's a great leader, and
Yeah, he's like a point guard that the Suns could have used. Like you need someone like Mike Conley to efficiently run your offense. Like you can't even rely on Ant to run that offense. Like you could if they just had Ant, it would have been a problem. But since they have Ant and Mike Conley in the backcourt, they really have a complete team.
And this Timberwolves team has so much momentum because of how much they smacked the Suns. And if the Nuggets play like they played against the Lakers, they're not beating the Timberwolves. Overall that whole team, outside of Jokic, was very inconsistent. Outside of Jokic and Michael Porter Jr., everyone else was very inconsistent. Jamal Murray was shooting like 30% from the field in most games. Aaron Gordon too, he wasn't shooting well at all. KCP wasn't shooting well. And the Timberwolves have multiple good shooters and just players good on both ends. I do think it's going to be hard for them to contain Jokic because if they can't figure Jokic out, they'll lose the series. Because Jokic, if Gobert can't even figure it out, I really don't think anyone can. That's why I feel like the Nuggets are going to probably win this series, but it's going to be a close series.
So who do you think is the most unguardable player in the league? Jokic?
Jokic is a top 5 unguardable player of all time.
Of all time?
Of all time.
I feel like it's really early to say all time.
It's not even early at all because number one, he's a mountain. He's literally the shape of a whole mountain, so no one could guard him at all whatsoever. Not even Anthony Davis, who is one of the best one-on-one defenders ever, and not even Rudy Gobert, who's a 4-time Defensive Player of the Year. Like, not a single person can guard Jokic, and it's because of how big he is. And number 2, his passing. You have to worry about guarding him, and you can't double team him, which number 1 shows you that one-on-one he'll score. He has rarely ever had a bad shooting game that I've witnessed ever, and you can't double team him because he'll find a player. Like even when he'll see things other people don't, and he'll always get his teammates in the right positions to score, which is scary because you can't stop him anyway. You just can't. That's why he's unguardable, and he's literally a point guard in a center body, and that's why he's so difficult to game plan around. And he's honestly one of the biggest playoff risers I've seen. Like, he's very good in the regular season. He's a 3-time MVP soon, and he gets better in the playoffs. Isn't that crazy?
It just doesn't make any sense to me, man. Like, Jamal Murray, first of all, they said he was injured, and then he comes in game 5 and absolutely torches the Lakers.
That man was not injured. I don't care what anyone says.
Like,
he was not injured.
You literally cannot stop this man. You can't.
Someone said a hot take that we're gonna comment on later. Like, every time I see someone say a hot take, I save it and we're gonna talk about them later. Oh yeah, let's continue on with the Lakers. So we're gonna grade the LeBron Lakers era. Let's start with 2019. Missed playoffs. 2020, championship. 2021, eliminated in the first round. 2022, missed playoffs. 2023, swept in conference finals. 2024, lost in the first round. Mev, how would you grade that stretch of years?
It's just tough because in 2019 they missed the whole playoffs, which obviously sucks, but they did it again in 2022. So 2 out of 6 of those years they completely missed the playoffs, which is a huge L. But there's obviously context behind that. But anyway, they did win a championship in that time span, made the Western Conference Finals in that time span, and that already alone, they've accomplished more than like 90% of the NBA. Just by winning and making another conference finals.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you. They had two, you could say, successful seasons because making the conference finals is really big as well. Some people will be like, oh, they got swept. Who cares? They made the conference finals as the 8th seed. They did miss the playoffs, but also there was context. LeBron was injured, and so was Anthony Davis. Like, it's hard to make the playoffs those years. 2019 was a whole young team that was also injured as well, so it makes sense that they lost the playoffs there. And if you look since 2019, every other team in the league, there's only a few. There's only a few that have been more There's only a few that have been more successful than the Lakers since 2019. But the fact we're talking about here is a LeBron and AD team should have won more championships. They should have, and I'm grading it an A- because they did win a championship. That was the goal the whole time. they won a championship. I know they didn't win more, but they at least won one.
I'm sorry, but A- is crazy.
The talent around the talent with LeBron and AD, they should win more championships. That's one of the most talented duos of all time. And I'm not blaming LeBron or AD for that. I'm really not. I'm blaming the Lakers front office for terrible trades, terrible hiring of coaches, that really ruined the team dynamics and all that. And it's not LeBron or AD's fault. Like, you can even say it's a B plus, because one championship with LeBron and AD is kind of disappointing. Because when they initially teamed up, everyone was like, "Oh my God, they won like 3 straight. Like they're not gonna lose. Who's gonna stop them?" And other than 2020, it's been pretty mediocre.
It just like baffles me that the whole Russell Westbrook trade. Like, I love Russell Westbrook, but they absolutely did not need to do that. They could have won more championships.
The Russell Westbrook trade did really set the Lakers back, because they won a championship in 2020. They should have kept that core together, because that core, if they were still a team right now, I really think they could have beat the Nuggets this year and last year maybe. That 2020 team was special. And one disappointing year, the reason why they traded for Russell Westbrook is because they missed the playoffs. They were eliminated in the first round in 2021, a year after winning the championship. But that was because they were literally injured, and they gave up too soon on that team. A healthy team would have won a championship further down the road after 2020, but the Lakers gave up too soon. They traded for a star because they wanted a third star, and we all know now that teams that focus on the three star models, whatever, are not going to go far, because you have to literally butcher your whole team to get that third star. And depth and all that is a lot more important than having a third star, because if you have 2 stars and the rest of your team is solid and very good, that's how you win a championship. That's how the Lakers won in 2020. But they decided to ruin that and trade for Russell Westbrook. It's not Russell Westbrook's fault at all. It's the Lakers front office. They really don't know what they're doing. And I hope LeBron doesn't sign back, because he's really hurting himself. Because he is still good enough to win championships.
Yeah, LeBron has another 2 to 3 more years in him at this level. I really think he did not look like a 40-year-old man in the first round of this year's playoffs. The fact that he's still carrying a team, not carrying, but still putting up these numbers at his age, is absolutely unreal. And I don't see him, deteriorating anytime soon. So I really hope he does his best for his career, because people are going to use this against him even though he's 40 years old. It just doesn't. Also, the Lakers are going to try their hardest to get LeBron back, and they're going to, apparently Sham said, Trae Young is a name to monitor closely as a trade target for the Lakers. LA is eligible to trade up to 3 future first-round picks. A deal for Young will likely be centered around Reeves and picks. Number one is, this just shows how dumb the Lakers front office is. They make bad move after bad move. After watching this series against the Nuggets, how can they possibly think that Trae Young is the answer? Don't get me wrong, Trae Young is a career 25-9 guy, but he does not solve the Lakers' glaring issues, which is number one, perimeter defense, where the Nuggets absolutely cooked you. Number two, rebounding and defense in general, that can help out Anthony Davis down low. Obviously, they need a consistent third scorer, but the things that you're going to have to give up for Trae Young is going to not be worth it. While also taking on his contract, which is huge, you won't be able to sign anyone. And the Lakers really don't know what they're doing, because they literally did the same thing with Russell Westbrook, and they're trying to do it a part 2. I think the Lakers' best chance is just trying to strengthen other areas. Maybe get Alex Caruso back, get an actual good center, like Steven Adams, who I think can, we all know Steven Adams is a dog. Rebounding wise, he'll hustle, he'll help out Anthony Davis a lot. And I don't even know, Trae Young is really not the answer. Trae Young is a good guy, a really good player, and the Hawks are not even gonna do that in the first place. That's nothing for Trae Young, right? Yeah, I mean, the Hawks could definitely get way more for Trae Young. The Hawks, I don't even think they're gonna trade Trae Young anytime soon. So they should just try to.
I don't know why Trae Young is in so much trade rumors, even to the Spurs.
I honestly just think the Hawks, they know that they can't win shit with Trae Young. It's too late. There's been too many years that has gone by, and they just lost to the Bulls in the play-in. like they're also in no man's land, just like the Bulls. Like they're gonna have to figure some stuff out. And Trae Young is not a player you build around. He's just not. He's not Victor. He's not Luka. He's not LeBron. Like you can't build around Trae Young.
I guess that's why a lot of teams won't even have to give up that much for him.
I mean, he could still get all. Like he could definitely get traded to a contender.
The Lakers
But, yeah.
the Lakers do not need to gut more of their already bad depth for Trae Young, because number one, the Nuggets are gonna have a victory lap around. Like they're gonna abuse Trae Young defensively, and they want the Lakers to just get worse, because the Lakers put up the biggest fight, in my opinion, from anyone to them. Let's talk about our top 5 best players in the playoffs so far, and 2 that are very disappointing so far. The 2 that have very disappointed me so far are Jason Tatum and Luka Doncic. For example, Luka, he's been shooting very unlike himself. I don't know what's up with him. Apparently he has a sickness, but still, like, the Mavs should win this series, and I really think if Luka was playing up to his standard, this would have been over in 5.
Yeah, I mean, Luka is getting carried by Kyrie, but Luka's not gonna have an amazing series like he always does. Like he's going to have his bad series, and if he's playing bad in this series, he's gonna play great in the next series. But I really hope they can. If they lose to the Clippers, and that's it, and that would be kind of like tough as a Kyrie and Luka fan. Me, just kidding. I just made that up. Like you said, Jason Tatum. It's just it's the Heat. Like, do you want Jason Tatum to turn it all the way up against the Heat when it's
no? But it's concerning because he needs to start off on a good foot if he wants to lead the Celtics to the finals. Because a West team, whatever West team the Celtics face, is gonna actually destroy them. I'm not even kidding. Like the way Jason Tatum plays is he doesn't understand his role. He is the superstar of the Celtics, but he doesn't act like it. He will defer to teammates too much. He won't take over games. He'll shoot badly. It's just really concerning. Like as a Celtics fan, you should be concerned because he needs to start turning up from the start, because he needs to start leading his team to that direction. And losing Kristaps, I don't know if Kristaps is gonna come back. The Celtics are just not looking good, and I don't even know. Derek White cannot be your best player in a playoff game. It needs to be Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum are the most unreliable duo in the NBA. You never know what you're going to get from them. And it could really, really, really end the Celtics' run, because this team won 64 games. So they should look unstoppable in the playoffs, but I don't think they will.
I personally can't trust them yet. Like every single year in the playoffs, the Celtics fans start turning on each other saying they need to trade Jason Tatum or Jaylen Brown and break up the duo. Like, I don't know what it is anymore. They're both still young, Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. So it's like it's gotta be this year or next year where they get their shit together and win a championship, or it's just over with that time frame and they're just gonna end up trading them. It's just tough to say, but at the same time, they have so much pressure on them. Like, for what?
Yeah, my top 5 players in the playoffs so far this year is number 1, Nikola Jokic. I think he's been amazing. He is single-handedly, like, just ignore what I said right there. But yeah, number 1 is Nikola Jokic. He's just unstoppable. No team can guard him at all whatsoever. Number 2 is Jalen Brunson. What Jalen Brunson has been able to do as the main guy, leading the playoffs in scoring, and I know his efficiency isn't that great right now, but the first two games really, really are tanking his percentage. But other than that, like, he's been amazing and leading the Knicks. 3, I would say it's Anthony Davis. Even though the Lakers are eliminated, I think Anthony Davis has been amazing in the playoffs. And 4th, I'd say, who am I missing? You could say Kyrie Irving. I think Kyrie Irving has been really good. James Harden. Tyrese Maxey has been good. Who else? Anthony Edwards, obviously. Anthony Edwards. I would say Anthony Edwards is 3rd, then Anthony Davis. And then that 5th spot is like a toss-up from like multiple players. James Harden has been amazing. Like, he's been looking like his vintage self. Obviously not crazy amounts of scoring, but like overall impact. And I really think the Clippers can, even without Kawhi, they could beat the Mavs, because they showed that they wanted more.
I agree, and like you said, James Harden is like a difference maker, and if James Harden turns it up, like, I really think they can tie the series and maybe win. Like, I really want James Harden to beat the Mavs. I'm sorry. Like, I think every NBA fan wants that. Besides Mavs fans.
Okay, me and Ev are going to react to some takes we saw on the timeline. Let's start with give Joel Embiid first. Let's start off what someone tweeted, and then we'll say what a Philly fan said in response to that. They're both like hot takes, kind of. So first, a Nuggets fan tweeted, replace Joel Embiid with Nikola Jokic and the 76ers are up 3-1 in the series. And then a Philly fan said, give Joel Embiid the supporting cast that Nikola Jokic has or had, and he'd be a 2-time champion already. I'd say the give Joel Embiid the supporting cast Nikola Jokic has, and he'd be a 2-time champion already is definitely a hot take. Because number one, Philly fans can't just accept that Nikola Jokic is just a better player. He's just a tier above Joel Embiid. He's a tier above everyone in the NBA. And that's not a bad thing. The things Nikola Jokic does and the impact he has is just rare to see from such a big player and a point center. So that's why I feel like they just can't accept that Nikola Jokic is a better player. So other than that, though, I feel like Joel Embiid, they also can't accept that Joel Embiid has had great rosters. He has.
Great is a stretch. He definitely has never had a roster as good as the Nuggets.
He had
right now.
Jimmy Butler on his team, bro.
Okay, but that doesn't mean that they were a good team. This doesn't mean
they were. That team could have won it all because remember if they beat the Raptors and went to the finals and whatever, they could have beat that Warriors team because Clay and KD got hurt, so he could have had a championship there. And we all saw how emotional Embiid was after Kawhi hit that shot. That was honestly Embiid's best chance to get to the conference finals and get to the finals, because they would have also
I honestly think
got to the finals that year if they beat the Raptors.
I honestly think Embiid would have won a ring that year if it wasn't for Kawhi's foot. I mean, Kawhi's shot. But I think Embiid, just with that roster, he would have a ring though. Maybe not last year.
No,
but
I don't think if Embiid and Jokic switched positions, Embiid would not be able to elevate the Nuggets like Jokic does. Just how Jamal Murray plays, even Embiid's two-man game with Aaron Gordon would not be even close to Embiid's this is so hard because this is hypothetical. I'm gonna say it again. Number one, if you switch Jokic and Embiid, I really don't think the Nuggets would be even nearly as good. Because Jokic, the things that he does with his teammates, like he develops a one-on-one chemistry with each player, like greatly. Like his one-on-one game with Jamal Murray would not touch a one-on-one game with Jamal Murray and Joel Embiid. His one-on-one game with Michael Porter Jr., his one-on-one game with Aaron Gordon, his one-on-one game with KCP, he just develops such a great chemistry in one-on-one games. And the things that he does with them, he gets them open, so much great looks. And we all know Embiid is not even close to the playmaker and passer that Jokic is. And Jokic is a point guard. That's why he's been able to elevate teams so much. Like, we all know he's like a point guard in a center body. And even though Embiid did improve on playmaking this year, I don't think Jokic is in another stratosphere. And that's why he's been able to elevate the Nuggets to a championship. So I don't think the Nuggets are close to as good. But if you put Jokic on the team Embiid has right now, they could very well beat the Knicks and be up in the series, because that's how good I think Jokic is. So I do agree with the first take, because Jokic is just a better player and he elevates the game a lot more than Embiid does. No shade to Embiid, but that's just the truth. Next hot take. Chris Broussard by Chris Broussard. He said, if the Nuggets win a championship this year, Jamal Murray is a Hall of Famer. What do you think, man?
I mean, if you're just looking at postseason, maybe. But I think he needs to get some all-star nods under his belt. What do you think?
I agree. There's not many players who have made the NBA Hall of Fame. Not NBA Hall of Fame. There's not many NBA players who made the Hall of Fame. Or players in general that made the Hall of Fame with no all-star appearances. I think it's only been 3 players. I forgot their names. but they're overseas legends. Like, they did a lot overseas. Jamal Murray needs to do a lot more to be in the Hall of Fame. The Hall of Fame is a very prestigious group of basketball players, and if you put people who won championships in it, there'd be a lot more players in the Hall of Fame. Jamal Murray needs a lot more individual accomplishments. I'd say like a couple of All-Star appearances, like 2 or 3, to be in the Hall of Fame, because that matters a lot. Because a lot of people can say that he does benefit playing with Jokic. I honestly think that's the case. I think he's a lot better playing with Jokic. And if you put other players in his position, they'd also win championships. Let's say if you put Booker in his position, if you put Donovan Mitchell, they'd also win championships.
Yeah, and for the Hall of Fame, I think you need more, like we said, it's more individual accomplishments, not team accomplishments. So yeah, he's just gonna have to win like some awards also. Like, I don't know.
I agree, because even though we all showed he's a very good playoff performer, that's not all there is to a basketball career. So I think he needs to do a lot more to potentially be in the Hall of Fame one day, because we're all gonna remember how great he is in the playoffs. But a 0-time All-Star is just not gonna make the Hall of Fame, especially if you have no accolades in college or overseas. It's a basketball Hall of Fame, and 2 championships is not enough under your belt to be in the Hall of Fame. Mev, come on. We're going to play a fun game. Would you rather Anthony Edwards edition? Mev, would you rather Anthony Edwards or Jason Tatum?
Jason Tatum.
I disagree. I would take Anthony Edwards any day, especially now that we know he's more reliable in the playoffs.
I think it's just too soon to say that, but anyway.
It's not at all. Anthony Edwards or Shea?
Shea. I think Shea just had a historic career. He was like 3rd in MVP voting. Yeah, I'm taking Shea.
Anthony Edwards is showing that he's better in the things he's doing in the playoffs. Shea's kind of shooting the bed in the playoffs. He's not playing like he usually does in the regular season, so I'm taking Anthony Edwards. Anthony Edwards or Halliburton?
Anthony Edwards, for very
Agreed.
obvious reasons.
That's kind of easy. Anthony Edwards or Devin Booker?
Devin Booker. I just think it's like...
Devin Booker? What?
Yeah, Devin Booker just played
Anthony Edwards just sunned him.
And, well, Devin Booker has no help, so anyway.
He has Kevin Durant.
Yeah, no help.
Anyways, Anthony Edwards is just a better player, and he'll be, if he's not now, he'll be better by next season. Anthony Edwards or Donovan Mitchell? Anthony Edwards.
Anthony Edwards.
For sure. That's not hard either. Anthony Edwards or John Morant? This is the hardest one to me, because people forgot how good John Morant is. Everyone forgot how good he is. I think, honestly, these two are on the same tier.
I'm taking John Morant.
I'm taking Anthony Edwards, but you do not like Anthony Edwards, Mev. You voted against him like almost...
I don't know. I just think he has to prove himself more.
If anything, John needs to prove himself more.
I think they're both like on the same tier.
Anthony Edwards, if he takes this Minnesota team to the finals, no one can say shit about him. And Anthony Edwards, last one. Anthony Edwards, Luka Doncic.
Luka.
Yeah, Luka. This is the only time I'm gonna vote against Anthony Edwards, because Luka is just him. Luka is a generational talent, and I think Anthony Edwards is, you could say, a generational talent as well. But yeah, we'll see if Anthony Edwards ever passes Luka one of these years.
Well, if Anthony Edwards makes the finals and wins, then I'm gonna look so bad, but we'll see.
Me and Mev are gonna do a role player draft in 90 seconds or less. Mev, you could have the first pick.
Okay, I'm gonna go with 6th Man of the Year, Naz Reid.
Not bad. I'm gonna go with the best role player in the league, Josh Hart.
Okay, well, I'm gonna go with the actual best role player in the league, Alex Caruso.
LOL. I'm gonna go with the second best role player in the league, Derek White.
Shit. I'm gonna go with the best player on this list, Russell Westbrook.
Shit, I was gonna take him. I'm gonna go with Mitchell Robinson at center because of his defense and offensive rebounding.
I'm gonna go with Malik Monk because we need some explosive energy here.
I'm gonna go with Grayson Allen because of his 3-point shooting. He's like the best 3-point shooter in the league this year.
I'm gonna go with Dante DiVincenzo. Oh my god, I can't say it.
I'm gonna go with Aaron Gordon.
Shoot, I was just gonna say that. Did you pick Ivica Zubac? I'm gonna go with Ivica Zubac.
Zubac?
Zubac.
You just botched his name 3 times.
That's how I say it.
And our last picks, right? My last pick is Miles McBride on the bench.
Alright.
He's a 2-way player who does not miss his shots. So guys, comment down below.
Wait, I didn't get to say my last pick. I'm gonna go with Ayo Dosunmu.